situated. I have 2 things that I want to comment about tonight. The first one is just slacking, children. Just humans who are supposed to work for Kroger, who quite literally yelled at the person in charge today or talked back to her. And I think part of it has to do with he's probably, well, they're in the same college. They both graduated this weekend from college. And I think maybe that's part of his problem. I was told that he was used to be a really hard worker, left and then came back and then was never a hard worker after that. I don't know, but he's on his phone. When you tell him to be off his phone, he pretty much ignores you. I know that he doesn't like me. And then he talked back to her tonight. She was the floor supervisor today, and she said, we have a list. I'm very big on lists. Like, it's here. If you can't remember what to do, just look at the list. Read. It's got your name at the top. See, it says self-checkout person, and your name is right there because I write your name. And so you know which list is yours. And no, he absolutely refused. She told him, she's like, you need to do what's on the list. Get off your phone and do what you're supposed to do. And so not only did he do 2 things out of the 10 things, and it's really simple. Clean your register, wipe things down, make sure your go backs. He only did that because I literally put them on top of his register, and then he moved them off to the side when he came back from break. And I was like, those have to go, they're go backs. Put them in the go back bin. Oh my gosh. I'm starving. That was one thing today. He just has no concept. So anyway, he told her that he didn't need to do extra work. Kroger was a big company, and if they're not going to pay him, if they're not going to give him a raise because he works harder, then he's not going to work harder. And so he actually ended up leaving 5 minutes early, which he typically does. He didn't last week. I told you guys that I told him, I'm like, you leave early, I'm writing you up. So he didn't leave early last week, left early today, and he didn't put his till away, so that means I have to go back and do it. Which again, it's not the end of the world, but you had 5 extra minutes that you literally get paid for because stupid 7 rule, and it's not a rule, it's crap. So he still gets paid for his entire time, and yet he ducks out early. That's insanity. What was the other thing? I'm not even remember now. Carts are still a pain in the butt. They're all the way down the sidewalk, and they're still in the way. People can't get in to get ice. Now they want to move the ice cooler from about, I'm gonna say it's like 15 steps off the front door. They want to move it all the way down to the end, down by the picnic tables, but where we that way people can just walk up. And I wish I could show you. Maybe I can turn you around. Let me see if I can get you to see this. Is that snow? Is there a flip it button? Well, okay, we're gonna do this and see if you can see anything. So see, clear by this. Let me go where I go. Okay, there's the canopy for the front door, and then you can see the double ice chest. See all the lines of carts, and then you can see the blue and white cage that is for the refills of propane. And then this is all the flowers and stuff that nobody can get to because they can't get through these carts right here. It's like 3 wide. And then clear down here behind if you look at the back of this car, right there is where our picnic table is that we're allowed to like sit outside and eat if we want to. That's where they want to move the ice from all the way in front of or behind that truck all the way to the other side over here. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. So our store manager, instead of doing things that the customers want, doing things that the customers to better the customers, he made an inconvenience by making it so that the carts are out front instead of inside where they're supposed to be. So he made a mess. Then he's trying to clean up the mess by making a bigger mess to move the ice when the ice does not need to be moved, and it will be even more inconvenient. It just doesn't make sense. There's a lot here that doesn't make sense. Like that kid who doesn't even want to do his job and thinks he's going to get paid for it. So today was tomorrow is supposed to be my last day. And part of it has to do with, I've got a job, a work from home job. I get paid more doing it. I like it. I love to work from home. I told the manager, she asked, the front-end manager, she asked if I could still work next Monday or next Friday, because the way it sounded, of course it's a text, so sounded is in quotes. The way I took it was that she needed somebody to cover for her next Friday. I'm not sure if that's truth or not, but I told her I was thinking about 1 day a week, so I'll take next Friday. The weekend after that, I'll probably take a Thursday like tonight. I can work 4:30 to 9. Gets me out of the house a little bit. I still get to have the Kroger discount, which is really only useful if you buy Kroger branded products. And then you get an extra discount on like home goods and stuff like that. And then Mondays, each day of the week is something. But I don't remember what it is. Mondays I know is pizza night, but if it's only on if you buy the pizzas that are in the deli section, the ones that are frozen, but they're like Kroger version. I'm not even sure if Kroger makes them Kroger version, but anyway, then they're $5 for employees. Otherwise, I think they're $5.99 or $6. It's not, or sorry, $5.99 or $6.99. It's not like it's a huge savings, but it's something. I never remember Mondays anyway. We are gonna end up as a family starting 75 hard. Some idiot decided that she should start it on Sunday, not remembering Sunday's a holiday. Andy would say, you decide today, start today. I need a little bit of prep time because I have nothing in my fridge that is a very cohesive meal. We have not exactly planned out our diet plan. I think that the older humans are just going to count macros. I don't know. My first guess is that the youngers are probably going to do that too. We have 2 younger boys. One's about to be 14, and the other one is 16. Yikes. And those 2 are going to do it with us. The older 2 haven't committed yet. I think I don't know. I don't know if they're in the right headspace. Our daughter probably will do it with us, but I'm not sure if our oldest will. He's a little bit more like, sure, I'll go along and I'll do it, and then if I fail one time, or if I don't do what I'm planning on doing, then whatever, I'm just not gonna worry about it. So we'll see how that happens. There was a ton of storms through here yesterday. That was not fun. I drove home from my job, my other job. It's about a 2-hour drive home. Drove home and thankfully didn't take the interstate, otherwise I would have been stuck. Because it passed down 65, across 65, and the news report said that there was debris everywhere. So I'm glad I did not take 65. I did not want to be stuck on the stinking interstate. I took the way that I take to get there is the kind of back roads. I took back roads home, passed right in between a couple storms. So it didn't even really rain until we got home. And then a tornado went really close to us this morning. The National Weather Service alerts on your phone threw a fit about 3 o'clock this morning. And so we all woke with a start. Power kind of flickered on and off. We have a surge protector on the end of our camper, on the plug part of it, so it kind of saves it so that our power we don't blow out any breakers, or it's kind of the first breaker, I guess, is how to explain it. And of course, when we have water, our camper tank is full, so it's not a huge deal, but our power to our well, so when we don't have power, our well doesn't have power. And so there have been many a nights when we have had the power out in the house and you can't pump water, you can't go to, there's no running water, there's no toilet water, stuff like that. So I'm glad this is the way it is. We didn't lose it for more than a few minutes at a time, I don't think. I mean, it might have been half an hour, but it was also 3 o'clock this morning, so it's not a huge deal. This is another reason why we definitely want to be completely off-grid, going more and more to that by the second. It was originally going to be, just be on grid and kind of get over it. But the things that TWA, I don't know, I don't remember what the Tennessee Electrical Authority or whatever it is, I have no idea. Things that they've been doing more and more just kind of get under my skin about, we think that we should get to limit the power that you use, and we're going to have rolling blackouts because we feel like it. We're going to shut you off whenever we want to. Those types of things. We just had so we're in the Duck River Electric, I'm going to say district. That's who we pay our bill to. And we had a guy come around last week, and he said that his job was to go around, which of course it was kind of sketchy. It was 5:15. I'm thinking, why is the electric company dude working it, after 5? But his mission that day was to go around and see if he couldn't, to see if he saw any solar systems hooked up, and if he did, then he was to unhook them. And so I was asking questions because we didn't see him, our neighbor did, and the neighbor talked to him, and so I was asking her a few more questions, like, what is going on? They don't have a right to just disconnect your solar system. And so she said that she kind of asked a few more questions, and supposedly it was only those that had what they call no permitting. They said if it was not something that they were told about or had one of their guys inspect, something to that effect. And I was like, I didn't know that there was a permitting. Like, I didn't know that that was a thing for solar. Like, you have to get your solar permitted. That doesn't make sense to me. I can understand that they don't want it to feed back into the grid because, yes, that is dangerous. I'm not sure that too many people in the great state of Tennessee actually have their solar systems feed back into the grid. To me, people in Tennessee that have solar systems have them because they want to be off grid, like completely. And you can have a dual system, although if you're smart, you have a switch in the house that flips so that when the power goes off, then it shuts off your house power and turns on your solar power, so that one is never feeding back. Like, your solar power is never feeding back into the grid when the grid is down. What happens is, or what can happen, is that linemen can be out working on the line trying to reconnect the power, and since the power is down, then they think that the power is off. Sorry, I'm slowing down fast. They consider the power to be off, And I guess until you reconnect to the grid, then you don't know that it's charged. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but something to the effect of, I understand if it feeds back into the grid that linemen can get hurt by not understanding, realizing that the line is live, something to that effect. So I get that concept, I get the safety aspect of it. I don't understand never mind, I totally understand that I have to permit it. It's because the governments want more money, and this local county is one of the worst counties for all the stuff. I mean, they're horrible about, we want, you got to pay for this, and then if your inspection, if they fail you for some reason, then we have to have more money. And every time it happened with our electrical inspection, we put it in the way we thought we were supposed to put it in. Who came out first? I think it was the Duck River guy came out first, and he's like, yep, that's all good, I passed you. And so he checked his pass you, and then you have to have the county guy come out. I don't know who comes out first, I don't remember, but the second guy that came out, he came out and he's like, nope, you failed, this has to be here and that has to be there. And I was like, well, why did the first guy, the Duck River dude, thought it was okay? And so then what I did was, my husband had the electrical guy's phone number, and I said, fix it, take a picture, and text him and say, hey, is this what you meant? Because he drew it on a little piece of paper, kind of stuck it in the corner, and that way we didn't have to pay another $25. I mean, we eventually did, but we didn't have to pay for him to come out if he was going to say, hey, no, that's wrong. So we took a picture, asked him if it was correct or if this is what he meant. He said yes, and then we paid for another permitting. Then he came back out and checked it again, stamp of approval. So building at our next place, I can just feel it. It's going to be so much fun. But that is why we're leaning towards fully off-grid, because then the electric company will have no reason to get to say anything about what I have on my property. Although I do have some lines on my property that I'm going to see if we can figure out how we can get them moved. I'm not sure how much that's going to cost, but we are going to ask the electric company.